West Virginia. It's in the Blue Ridge Mountains down, well, right into Tennessee, North Carolina, and Virginia border. When I was about 13 years old, I guess. I was working with Bobby Harrison then, son. Bobby and I would maybe take off a day of school a week and go booking. That was back in the days, though, when we had, like little one-room schools, country schools. And we'd go book those things back through the mountains. We worked schools and, like courthouses. We played mostly just shows, concerts, square dances, and that type of thing. Heard my mom talk about they used to have whole square dances in people's homes, and they do it in summertime. Down there, you can go into one. Maybe there'd be 150 people in one reel. I mean, it's a huge thing, and they have them in these big halls, We worked the little mountain towns. We didn't play in the big cities. Of course, back then, if you got into the cities, they wouldn't come out to see that type show anyway. We made our own posters up back then and did our own advertising, and we worked radio shows 5 days a week. Radio was a lot different. You just about have to buy your time here. But in the South back then, they would give you radio time. That's where we got our crowds from advertising. I enjoyed it, I left Galax when I was 16 years old, and I went to Tennessee. We worked radio every day there. The reason I went to Tennessee, Bobby Harrison, he and I kind of grew up together, went to school together, and played music together. I was kind of lost after he went to service, and that was one reason I came here. I kind of gave it up for a while. Well, I had a brother that lived in Wilmington, so he wanted me to come up here. I was about 18 years old. I was here, I guess, a year before I ever ran across anyone that could play that type of music. Then I met some people from, well, they were from Galax too, and they lived in Pennsylvania, and my brother introduced me to them, and I played with them, I guess, 2 years. But we weren't really playing bluegrass then. We were playing a lot of country music. We're doing rock and roll too. Then I met Fred Hanna. He and I got a band together, and that's when we started playing with bluegrass. I don't know, seemed like it just never did work out just quite right. And then Fred quit. I went with Alex Snowbell Campbell. He was working Wheeling, West Virginia. We were playing in Oxford, but remoted through Wheeling. That was a midnight show. Then we worked all over the country booking off of that. And then we had Alex did, had a mail order record company going. And we sold records off of that. And then I got a little tired of that, so I quit. And I started working with another little group in Pennsylvania, just filling in. And that's when I met Bob Paisley. Bob Paisley came in one night. That's when I found out that he could play a guitar.
I could see he was a bluegrass musician. So I quit them and got Bob to go with me.
According to motherland.
I met him about 11 or 12 years ago, and another fellow that knew that I liked that music invited me to the club in Oxford where Ted was playing. And I heard him play there, and I thought, well, I just really like to play music and like that. So it wasn't long until we got together.
Jerry is my cousin, but I didn't know him until I came here. Jerry's father was a great fiddle player.
It must have been about 14 years ago, I guess. They were playing at a place nearby where I lived. I went in and listened to them, and then after they got done playing, they had a party, and I went over and we sat up and played all night. And it wasn't shortly after that I went to the Army. And then when I came back out, I looked him up and started playing with him.
We've had quite a few different Now Emory Ledford, he's from Nashville, North Carolina, too, playing with us now.
I only known Ted about, like I said, about 6 months. I was playing at Deer Creek Park, up in, is it Pennsylvania, I guess it is there. And I met Jerry. And we was playing out on the field together, and Jerry's mentioned something to Ted about me, and then later we played a show at the Susquehanna Trails campground. And that's the first day I met Ted.
You really have to work together, I think, for a long time to get that closeness and that kind of thing, kind of putting it all together. The more you work together, the more that happens.
tend to lean a lot more towards some of the old-timey stuff.
I think the old-time music would have died out if it hadn't been for bluegrass.
We kind of worked some of the old-time stuff, you know, that fit the bluegrass.
They didn't use bass fiddles, and they didn't use a five-string. I mean, the style we pick now, they used a five-string, was old clawhammer style.
Originally, a long time ago around here, everybody called it hillbilly music. Now it's kind of refined. They call it, everybody classified it with big classic country music, which is not right either. I'd rather even just maybe call it hillbilly, what we're playing hillbilly music. Hillbilly maybe is a better word after all, because it strikes you as real old country type music. I distinguish between bluegrass or whatever you want to call it, between that and country music. I think there's just as different as night and day. Country music I don't think can have the roots that bluegrass music has, because it changes so much. The music that is played, you know, it comes along, you use drums, and now the horns has gotten into it. I don't have anything against horns, but it can't really have deep roots like bluegrass music or old-time music, I guess maybe is a better word for it. It's just been called bluegrass when it got speeded up and used a five-string banjo, but really it's just old-time music speeded up a little.
Well, a lot of fiddlers they'd tune their fiddles different. I think the main reason was because they couldn't play it out with all their fingers, so by putting a different tune in, then they wouldn't have to use all their fingers, they could play it easier. And then also they get a little different sound out of their fiddle. They get more of a bagpipe sound. Like you get an open note would be just drumming, like a bagpipe, more or less kind of the same.
A lot of bluegrass players will take they'll take a tune that's really an old-time tune and work it out. Just play it kind of their style. But we always, when I do it, if you do one certain tune that the old-time pickers, that they tune their banjo different for that tune, I always tune mine that way too, instead of leaving it in a straight, like G tuning. I always try to tune the same way they did to get the same sound. A lot of banjo players won't do that. My father, he played banjo too, but he played old-time music. My dad, he used to show me these things, or try to, but I wasn't interested in anything. I was more interested in the modern type thing. Well, I don't know if you've ever heard of Kyle Creed. He's an old-time banjo player, and he lives not far from me. He's known my mother all his life. I wish now that I learned a lot more of that stuff than what I did. I had to go back and get Kyle and Fred Cochran and some of those guys to sharpen me up on them.
Goodbye, little Bonnie, goodbye. Goodbye, little Bonnie, goodbye. The only thing I've ever done wrong, I courted little Bonnie till now.
got to working a lot of the old stuff that Mom did, and I really enjoy it now.
Little bunny, goodbye. Goodbye, little bunny, goodbye. The only thing I've ever done wrong, I courted little bunny, goodbye. I ask her mama for her. I ask her papa too. They both said no, little Bonnie can't go. That's all that I can do. Goodbye, little Bonnie, goodbye. Goodbye, little Bonnie, goodbye. The only thing I ever done wrong, I left little Bonnie too long.
The train is coming in town. Can't you hear that whistle blow?
We'll take a song like that where she has always sung it by herself, and then we'll put the music with it, where she very seldom ever used any music, just singing by herself. Then we'll, if it'll work, sometimes we'll use like a 3-part harmony on some of the stuff, just to give it a little more interest, for listening. Like especially if for bluegrass, we're working in with bluegrass instruments and everything, to give it more of a little bluegrass flavor. And where it was more like a folk thing the way she did it, just singing by herself.
The only thing I've ever done wrong, I courted little Bonnie too long. It's been 10 long years since I left my home in the hollow where I was born, where the cool warm nights made the woods go bright and the fox hunter blew his song. What have you done to your home place? Why did they tear it down? And why did I leave the plow in the field and look for a job in the town? I fell in love with a girl in town. He promised that she would be true. I ran away to
The mushroom industry really brought a lot of people into this area from the South. Families at that time were going out all over the South.
And why did I leave the plow in the field and look for a job in the town?
Families at that time were going out all over the South. Well, it was Southern families all around here. So the style of type of living didn't really change from what it was there.
My girl ran off with somebody just that stood in my path. I sat here alone by the
We had the preachers came in were Baptist ministers and had primitive Baptist church services all around. We had them in people's homes and in the schoolhouse over here. We used to go to church there. The traveling preachers would come in. So it was really not really any change in the way the people, were living. That's what they did in the South. They'd be, I guess, what's called a minority group here one time. People would laugh at the music and the things they did. But, when you got together and everybody played music, together in a house or something, everybody wouldn't play music.
Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away in the morning to a land on God's celestial shore.
song is a lot like the old primitive Baptist hymns where they didn't use any music. A lot of the early songs, to me, sound, like could be classified as gospel songs. Traditional groups are groups that are playing traditional music. Gospel music is a real part of it. Usually where you find the early ballads or the slow type numbers in a lot of the early ballads why gospel music is. They're kind of intertwined there.
I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away,
I really know more gospel material than I do anything else. I grew up doing that type stuff, when I was real young. I started out doing gospel altogether when I first started. We used to work playing churches a lot. A lot of gospel stuff. Well, if you read the Bible, it kind of makes... When you get it, the only way I know to explain it, when you get it so that chills start running over you, then you start getting it right.
I have music on both sides of my family. I guess on my father's side, my grandfather was a noted fiddler, and his family all played, so I guess it goes back quite a ways. Emmett W. Lundy, that was my grandfather. Everybody around there knew him. And I remember when I was little going down, they would always have a big party or something, and there'd be a lot of people there, and they'd always play. His father played, I guess. I suppose he was a fiddler too. I guess it just was handed down. My father's name was Everett Lundy. He used to play around quite a bit. He had a group, he was known as Fiddlin' Buck, and Blue Ridge Mountaineers in the 40s, I guess. I guess I idolized him playing the fiddle. Different ways of using the bow. Father showed me, well, he showed me the double shuffle, but I never could pick it up too good. We have what we call the Georgia bow and a jerky bow or something, like a bow movement for every note, and then like a shuffle. Then we have it's like you play 2 notes on a stroke, and then 3 notes with a stroke for each note, and then 2 more notes again. And play it like in a fast tune, it becomes a really kind of a roll. It's something that just comes natural after a while. guitars and fiddles and mandolin, things all laying around. We always had them there to fool with, you know. We learned to bang on them a little bit, you know, get a tune out of them. I could always get more out of the fiddle. I was never really interested too much in baseball and other things. I guess the music was a substitute for a lot of things that I should have been interested in, maybe that I wasn't. It'd be like playing a game or something to occupy your mind or pass time.
Years ago, there's one radio, I think, in the whole neighborhood. And we used to all go together on Saturday nights, you know, get in a group in this one house, and we'd listen to the Grand Ole Opry all night. Yeah, I mean, as long as it went on, you know.
Over the prison bars I was blind.
That was, I guess, when I first got interested in Bill Monroe. And then later on, they played a lot of his, I guess, albums, or maybe on the Farm Hour, or maybe it might have been Don Reno and Red Smiley, too, that I was interested in a lot in those. But when I went and bought albums, I think I bought more Bill Monroe back that time than anybody else. Might get a change, you know. I copy down a song off a record. And then, if I can get the words someplace, I get them, you know. And that's how I learn them. I bought a mandolin first. And because I was, I guess you'd say, a big fan of Bill Monroe's.
I have a great ship on the ocean, all bound in Mississippi. I gave more mine than a darling.
Well, it gives me, you know, a lot of pleasure and all to play. It's really about the only, you know, outside interest and all that I have, you know, that I really enjoy. It's like a hobby, you know, for me. I think you know, well, especially in bluegrass, you know, a lot of it tells a story, you know, and I guess a lot of times you have a tendency to associate with your own life. I do, you know.
Meet me tonight, love me. Meet me out in that moonlight alone. I have a sad story to tell you. I just wrote that.
You lead a double life when you work and play music. When you go out to play music, it's just like a different life. You kind of relax and forget all that. So it's a good, kind of like a hobby, I guess.
On this old rock pile, with a ball and chain, they call me by the number, not a name, Lord. Gotta do my time. Gotta do my time. With the making hard and the weary
and a weary mind. You can hear my hammer. Now you can hear my song. Gonna swing it like John Henry all day long. I've got to do my time. Try to do my time with an aching heart and a weary mind. Now it won't be long. Just a few more days. Gonna settle down and quit my rowdy ways. With that gal of mine. With that gal of mine. She'll be waiting for me when I've done my time.
So it takes the younger generation to keep it going. So they don't pick it up, it'll die. A lot of them are Ted's boys also. You know, they're good musicians now too. I think they'll keep it.
Teddy, he started getting. Of course, he's always been real interested in music anyway. So Bob's boy has too, and they're both real good. I wouldn't be afraid to put them with anybody today. Teddy, he's traveled around quite a bit. He's worked with other groups and been with other fiddle players. He's picked up licks and he knows licks. You know, bow licks. He can pick that up. And he'd help Bob.
My dad had an old banjo fixed up for me, but I broke it all to pieces, I guess. I probably started playing the fiddle when we moved here. I was about like first grade. Well, I started playing saxophone in elementary school. About 10, but bluegrass and stuff like 12 years old. I got interested in my dad's guitar playing. I used to like to listen. He played the guitar, so I always liked that. So I just started trying to play that.
We would go with them when they go to people's houses and practice. When they would quit, we'd pick up the instruments, just start playing them. We started getting together. Thought we ought to have a band when we got better at it.
there's a lot of new songs that come along that fit traditional music real well. We do some too that, but it's I don't really enjoy it like I do an old tradition type number.
On a hill overlooking the town, but time has left the wreckage where once there was beauty, and soon the old house will tumble down. When the leaves start to fall in autumn, and the rain starts to drip through the trees, there's an old man who walks through a garden, and his head is filled in memories. They say he built the mansion.
I like songs that a lot of the songs that are written about homes or part of the country and mountains and cabins. I can just envision a nice quiet setting, some guy sitting around an old log cabin picking on a banjo or something. And songs like that kind of make you feel that way, you kind of look at that. That's probably the way it was. People are looking back and trying to see some of the good things that happened in the past and try to hold on to a few of them. My personal feeling toward bluegrass music or old-time music is I think the people that are performing it are really trying, are really involved in it. And I mean, personally, they got a personal feeling toward it.
They say he built the mansion because of a woman, and they plan to be married in the fall. But her love withered in the last days of summer, and the house stood empty after all. But when the leaves start to fall in autumn, and the rain starts to drip through the trees, there's an old man who walks through a garden, and his head is filled in memories. There's an old man who walks through a garden, and his head is filled in memories.
Really, you feel it, most of the time. I know when I'm at work, you think about songs, or you can even hear a motor running, and you could start putting words to it and almost write songs. kind of music we play, sometimes popularity doesn't really do us too much good. Sometimes you can get too popular and everybody tries to go called Tin Pan Alley, or go in it for the money, then you lose something. If you're in it for the money, then I don't think you do a good job. Money's good. I'll take all of it I can get, but I wouldn't. I'd play it even, for free. Could do it for the fun. We've always tried to be, friendly and the biggest comment that I've heard that may mean something is people always say we look like we enjoy it as much as they like to listen to it, enjoy playing it, and we do. Yeah, it's nothing like it.
Now if I had a needle and thread as fine as I could sew, I'd sew little Betty to my back and down the road I'd go. Oh, mule, say, I ain't got time to kiss you now, the mule run away. Whoa, mule, I holler. Dirt and Pete, that old mule, stay on cramming through the top. Whoa, mule, I say, I ain't got time to kiss you now, the mule run away. Now if I had a needle and thread fine as I could sew, I'd sew little Betty to my back and down the road I'd go.